So this is one trick that the credit bureaus do not want you to know, like how to actually remove your account from your credit reports. And if you don't know this one trick, it's actually going to mess up everything and you're not going to be able to get your stuff deleted. Like I have fully learned this. I have done it for myself also. And I understand this all the way. If you want to really remove these accounts, remove your inquiries and things like that from your credit reports, even your student loans, you have to do these things. If you don't do it, then you're not going to get the results that you want. A lot of people think that, oh, it's not that major, I'm just going to leave it alone. And it's like, no, you have to do it now. And you need to make sure that you have it done right away. Look the accounts that's being removed. Credit One, Jefferson Capital One, Jefferson Capital System. This is a major, and I'm going to say major because I see it on a lot of people credit reports, collection company. Okay. Even Community Bank, some credit cards also. If you want to get these accounts removed, you have to make sure you follow what I'm going to show you now. And it's very, very simple. Okay. It's very, very simple. This is your first time watching my videos. My name is Rickita. I talk about credit. I also talk about how to increase your credit score and how to get some credit cards and get loans, how to get a house. I'm a real estate broker, so I can help you guys. If you're anywhere in the United States, I can definitely help you with this process. And I just want to show you like one of the top things I tell people to do. They don't listen to me, but the people that do listen, they get put on for real and they got their credit where they need to be. And now this thing that you need to do, I want you to understand that when you're disputing accounts on your credit reports and you need to get these different accounts removed from your credit reports, what they want to do is they want to see if there's some way that they can tie this account to you. Now, let me say this. If life was fair, the credit bureaus will be deleting these accounts because they're inaccurate. They don't have the right balance on there. They don't have the right date open. The payment history will be all 100% correct, but it's not. And it's a law to say that they're supposed to have it correct. So I know we're going to play games with them right now, but they've been playing games with us anyway. So for those people like, this is too much, this is playing games. They're supposed to do, they're not doing it though. So you got to play games with them, okay? So they want to see if there's some way that they can tie this account to you. So I want you to make sure that you understand exactly what address you was at when you got that collection, when you got that charge off. And it was probably most likely going to be that charge off, but the original account, what address were you at when you got this original account? Ask yourself, what address was I at? And you need to write that address down and you need to go through your credit report and say, okay, for my Credit One bank, I had this address. For this, I had this address. Okay. Because once you know what address you was at, you need to look on your credit reports and see what addresses are reporting. If you see that that address that you was at is listed in a previous address section or the current address section, you need to add a brand new address to your credit report. At brand new address, you never had an account there. You fresh, brand new at this address. You don't have any negative accounts tied to this address. I don't care if you got to use your cousin address, your mama address, your daddy address. I don't care, your grandma address. There's other options. I talk about my membership for addresses, but I don't care what address you have to use, but you got to get that address added to your credit reports. Once you get that address added to your credit reports, I want you to call the credit bureaus and tell them you need to remove those addresses. The other addresses that you had negative accounts with, you need to remove them from your credit reports. You can also do disputes online. So you can do your disputes online or through a mobile app. And Experian allow you to do this. Equifax allow you to do it. And TransUnion, they're funny about doing it online. Like when I tried to do, remove an address online with them, it was funny about it. I just had better success in just calling them and telling them to remove it. And sometimes you're going to have to fight. Like, look at this message right here. They're saying that you cannot process that because Credit One Bank is reporting that address. They say that they got that address from Credit One Bank. So they telling them, hey, make sure you call and, we'll process this. Okay. That's what they're saying to do because they're saying that they got that. And I was hoping that screenshot didn't look that bad, but I guess it got to look that bad. And they're saying that because that address is attached to an account. So say if you was trying to delete your Credit One bank account, the reason why you can't remove it when you dispute it is because you got an address that's attached to it. And you really need to go about removing that address then removing that account. So I would suggest you call them, and if one person don't do it, you hang up and call back again to get that address removed. This is going to be very important for those collections that you guys have, those charge-offs that you have. If you guys have bankruptcies, this is also going to be very, very important. Also, you guys may also have your maiden name on there because you're married and you have negative accounts like for when you before you were married. You may need to just remove that. You can always add it back on if you were some reason was to get divorced. You can also add that back on. And for those people that just got married, you're a brand new person. This is a good thing, especially if you had a lot of debt. I will get all that stuff removed, those your maiden name, all those addresses, because you're gonna pop up as a new person, which means it's going to be easier to actually remove those accounts. Now, again, you see how they said that this address is attached to the Credit One bank. That means that when you try to dispute the Credit One bank, they're going to say it seems like it's yours. They're going to validate that account and say that and verify that account and saying that it's yours because you got an address on your credit report that's attached to it. You want to make it seem kind of like you're, I want to say a new person, but you want to get those things that's negative, that's tying you to those negative accounts. You want to get those things off. You can technically, it's going to be so hard to change your name unless you get married. It's going to be so hard to change your name. Your date of birth, it is what it is. Your social security number, it is what it is. But your address, that's another point that they're going to use. You just seen that on a message with Experian. The address, you can change that any day. So I would tell people, I always tell people to do this. When I have to fix mine, I had to go through this process. I saw a lot of my accounts come off when I actually removed those addresses, updated a new address. When I did that, I seen the accounts just start falling off. I would love if you guys were to just go through the Experian app. If you get this message, just leave it alone. But take note to know, okay, so y'all attaching this Credit One bank account to this address. Take note on it. And if it's a positive account, then call that company and say, hey, this is my new address. So that they can report that new address to the credit bureau so that when you want to go and dispute that old one, because you still got negative accounts with that old address, you're not having that hang up. Now, I know this may seem very simple, like I said, but you guys really do need to go through this process. If you guys call the credit bureaus, they don't want to remove it because that's a possibility too. Then I want you guys to send a letter to the credit bureaus. This is not effective at all. Like when I help people send out letters and things like that, and they're like, can't you just send a letter and get it removed? No, it's not as good as calling them because on the phone, they're going to delete it right away. When you send a letter, they act all funny. They don't want to delete it or they'll remove one of them and leave the other ones. I want to know today that they're gone. You know, time is going to be ticking. So I want to know today that they're gone. So if you have a hard problem with them deleting it over the phone, you want to try other things because this is very important. You don't want to think, oh, this address is going to stay on there. No. They don't have to stay on there. So first, I want you guys to call the secondary bureaus. I want you to call all these different bureaus like SageStream, Innovis. I want you to make sure that the address that you're trying to remove is actually removed from their report. Also, you have credit reports with these third-party bureaus, these secondary bureaus. You have credit reports with them. So I want you all to call them and make sure that these addresses are also removed from them. Even LexisNexis for the people that have bankruptcies. Make sure these addresses are removed with them. And you can also dispute that account. If you had a negative account, dispute that negative account with them also. That way, if these credit bureaus try to find other connections, they try to go to these third-party bureaus, it's not an option. It's not there anymore. They're going to have to just remove this account, okay? So just call them. You can Google these third-party bureaus. If you guys are inside of my membership, I have a whole video about these third-party bureaus. I even have like a downloadable guide. They have like their what you got to do because some third-party bureaus not just going to let you do it on the phone. They're going to say, hey, if you want to do a dispute, you can fax it in. If you want to do a dispute, you can do it online. And you just need to know what you need to do. And I have that full sheet to tell you exactly what you need to do if you already a part of my membership. So try that option, okay? Go and do that option. And I would like if you guys just set time and say, hey, I'm going to do this for the next few days. I'm not stopping until this is done. Like start and don't stop until it's actually done. So if this don't work for you or in terms of calling them, again, it's another thing that you can do. And that thing that you guys can do is you can send a letter to the credit bureau asking them to remove it. Again, it could work for some, but it's not as effective as calling. So I would call them every day, all day, especially if you work from home. If you got some downtime, just had them on hold. You hear a little something, you like, okay, let me answer this real quick. That's what I would do until it's completely done. Now, I do have a free dispute letter that you guys could send to the credit bureaus. Download this free dispute letter and just plug in those addresses and let them know that those addresses need to be removed from your credit reports, okay? Tell them they need to get removed from your credit reports. I also was looking through some of my files and I see that I did have this here. And if you want to take a screenshot of it, it's going to be perfect for you all to take a screenshot. You can say this, hey, because your first and last name, current address. Your current address is that new address too, y'all. Don't put that old address. Put that new address, social security number, date of birth, and a date. After looking at my credit report, I noticed some errors with my personal information. Below are the problems with my personal data. Thanks in advance, and don't work too hard. Please also send me an updated copy of my credit report. And you want them to remove this. So it don't say remove them. I see some errors. I will put right here, please remove them today. I'll just simple as that. Below are some problems with my personal data. I would put this and then send me an updated copy of my credit report. Okay. So it does say down here, please go ahead and fix this inaccurate information and get back to me as soon as possible. 30 days should be enough time to fix this problem. If you can update me sooner, that would be better. So you can use this right here. So please screenshot it, because if you use that, send that to the credit bureaus, all 3 credit bureaus, that can give you a better chance of actually getting those accounts removed. And when you guys send letters to the credit bureaus, I do suggest that you guys send certified letters, because if you send certified letters, which is this, it's a certified receipt right here. If you send you some certified letters, then you can double back and dispute it and file complaints with the CFPB and say, hey, I got some personal information. I sent them a letter. You can even copy and paste that exact same information onto that too. Say, hey, I sent this information to them and they did not remove it. And usually they're going to get back to you in about 15 days. That's another option, but you have to get it removed. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. You have to get this removed. And the credit bureaus don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that your accounts are attached to your addresses. They don't want you to know that. Okay. So please remove these different addresses from your credit reports to make it easier to remove these accounts. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video.